Wow. This game going to OT, barring some sort of, last second kickoff return for a touchdown. Cardinals marching down, probably one of the most boring games I've ever seen up until this last, 3-4 minutes of the game. Marvin Harrison Jr. was done, toast, maybe highest, player drafted bust of all time. And then all of a sudden, in the second half, he revitalizes that negativity, flips it around, faces adversity in the face, and man, MHJ is looking pretty good right now. Oh, wow. And then I know a lot of you Benson owners are upset right now because Benson wasn't in there during that final 2-minute drive. But a lot of you got to understand, he's still, new to the starting lineup, and he's never been counted on in 2-minute drill settings, which they practice specifically executing upon certain plays, and he probably was never involved in those. So you got to understand why he's not in there. This is a Thursday game. Thursday games are brutal. Thursday games are an automatic negative -5 points you should start with if you're trying to decide between players. Benson played fantastic. He just hasn't gotten the volume. Benson has 5 or 6 receptions. He has there. I know the yardage wasn't crazy. This is a Thursday game. The volume hasn't been there. He was averaging 4.7 yards per carry all game. So all these, see a couple of you, Benson's not it. A couple casual comments. Benson's doing fine. Benson just needs volume. It's not about that. If anybody thinks Benson's played bad, they didn't either watch the game or they're just a box score Bobby. We got Darnold trying to get this team into field position very quickly. 23 seconds left, 2nd and 10. There is a chance Seattle marches onto the field, kicks a field goal, wins this game. So the Cardinal defense has to step up right here. But, so a lot to break down. JSN, a lot of disappointing situations in this game for sure. We got a super chat here. I'll try and keep up with these if I can while we're talking about this. Sell Hampton for BTJ and Brees. I'd rather keep Hampton, bro. Hampton's on the rise, bro. Hampton's going to be worth a ton more after week 4. So I'm not a big fan of that trade. All right. Darnold throws it to JSN at the 41-yard line. They're racing to spike the ball. 12. They took a timeout. Okay, they took a timeout. Wow, one more big shot, and then this is a field goal opportunity. This game is wild. If I'm the Cardinals, I would have probably went for it. They had all the momentum. They were playing well. You're on the goal line. Like, what would make you think you got to win the coin toss, march all the way down the field? I get it's a shorter field, but if it's me, I'm going for the win with destiny in my control. I want OT as well. I do. I'm rooting for OT for sure. We get more points fantasy-wise. Of course, I'm rooting for that. Did JSN get out of bounds? Probably not. His knee looked like it was down. But from a coaching perspective, why would you not go for it? Why would you give the team, you got to understand, you're still giving Seattle a chance to win the game, it's not going to OT necessarily. It probably will be, but kind of wild. Marvin Harris or JSN, I guess he is out. He did get it out. That is out of bounds. They're going to stop the clock there. It looks like he did get out of bounds. That was nice. Nice job there. Yep, he's out. Nice job. MHJ bouncing back in a major way. What a game. What a game. We got a lot of values to go over, though. A lot of players to discuss. Benson, like I said, a lot of casuals making comments right now on Benson. Benson's not it. I saw 3 people or 3 comments. I don't know if it was the same person, but Benson isn't it. Come on, Benson's done great. Benson just needs volume. Charbonnet's in there right now in the backfield. That's a huge conversation for tonight. Charbonnet Walker. A lot of people are upset. Our Patreon 24/7 live chat group. If you're not a part of this, you're missing out. We're literally chirping in there the whole game. I don't know, guys. In the Patreon, how many messages do you think we posted throughout the entire? Don't embellish. Try and give a real, safe, accurate estimate. How many messages do you think we created, just like a live chat here on YouTube? We have 100 and something chat messages so far since we've been live on YouTube in 4 minutes and 57 seconds. So guesstimation, how many Patreon messages did we have, do you think, tonight over there during the entirety of the game? We're chatting live just like this YouTube chat is. Boom, boom, boom. In fact, it's quicker than the YouTube chat sometimes. Link in the description. Link is right here. If anybody wants to be a part of this live chat group, it's 365 24/7. It's the best place to get, instant trade advice and help. Handoff to Charbonnet, who spins. Hard run by Charbs. I think Charbs is getting too many strays in our Patreon chat tonight. He was getting, and it's funny because like everyone, even Ron Navy was in there. People are arguing with me about my stance, and my stance was not negative toward Walker at all. It's merely that Charbs was catching strays, and a lot being said about how he, it should be Walker, it should be Walker. I'm not saying I don't want one running back myself. I just think that Charbs is looking fantastic tonight. Walker's looking fantastic tonight. There's no one needs to be talked up over the other. Like, you can like both these guys at the same time and still say that the situation sucks, that they're divided, that they're splitting. But all right, here we go. I'm seeing game over. That was a game, man. My TV must be behind a little bit because I'm watching this field goal here. Clearly, I'm behind. Seattle, man, this is why you go for it. This is what I just said. Why wouldn't you go for the win? What a stupid coaching decision. Seattle wins the game. It's over. Field goal. What did I say? What a stupid coaching decision. Go for the win. Go for the win. I mean, granted, you still could have seen this outcome. They could march down, kick a field goal. But I'm just merely saying you don't. It would have put different kind of pressure on the situation. It would have changed the whole outlook. The pressure would have been on. Seattle's just running loose. Like there's no concern. The defensive scheming is different. Everything's different in this situation when you're talking about that being an actual extra point and not a 2-point conversion for the win. Kyler Murray was awful. Let's talk about it. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Good for MHJ. MHJ still looks pretty sad on the sidelines. He's got to toughen up a little bit. This whole, almost crying after last game. And then I know he's emotional, but he's got to toughen up. That's part of being an NFL player. He's got to figure this out. Now, I'm very, very happy with the way that this ended up turning out for MHJ. But at the end of the day, it's like, there's still some struggles and concerns. And the bigger concern would be Petsing and the play calling and Gannon, the coaching, and just the team, the overall atmosphere in general. So definitely not excited at all about the Cardinals as a whole. And this even makes me worried about Benson. And if we're trying to rank, let's say, the up-and-coming rising running back stars, right? And we're trying to say, like, where's Hampton? Where's Hendy? Where's Judkins? So Judkins, Hampton, Hendy, Mason, Scattaboo here, and then Benson. Where we ran? This is probably my order, to be honest, but this crew right here feels like it's a slight tier above. Mason is flirting and can hang with this tier. Scattaboo is flirting and can hang with this tier for sure. I'm not trying to tear these guys off, but I think Benson has the talent to be here, but he has the offense that puts him right here. Unfortunately, he has the play calling, the offense that is a little bit concerning. This is the most vulnerable player of this crew right here when we're breaking down this gauntlet of league-winning running backs. And Harvey is a guy that could go anywhere. I can't even read where I'm writing that, can you? Harvey is a guy that could go anywhere in this territory with these other running backs as soon as he gets ready and on his horse. But Benson's situation is surely a little bit concerning given everything that you just saw, how they could game script him out. But still love Benson. Benson's got a lead upside. I think it's a good buy low opportunity because those that have Benson have that deflated balloon syndrome going on right now. where they felt excited, and then now their balloon's been deflated a little bit, and they're potentially wanting out, and you can buy low. Trevion Henderson was dropped. Would you drop JCM for him? Of course, bro. Of course, absolutely. It's not even a question. 100%. Congrats on that. Cardinals, honestly, I think if they won this game, people will be talking about, oh, what a good job Gannon did it. Oh, Petzing, and everything's going pretty well for the Cardinals. They're just a good team. But this big fat stinking L that they just took, it's plastered on their forehead, I believe is gonna ruffle some feathers. But there's still a team that's a ways away from like a change happening or anything like that. But hopefully they decide to use Benson differently. I don't know that they will. Gannon's the kind of, I don't know, he's a slug, he's a snail, he's a slow mover. And I could just see him going to the podium right now and Gannon just sitting up there and going, hey, we're not changing anything. Are you going to use Benson more? No, I think our defense stepped up. I think everything's going to stay exactly the way it is. Petzing, you're going to call different plays? No, I think we're going to keep it exactly the way it is. You're going to feed Marvin Harrison Jr. more and some different routes maybe? No, I think everything we're doing is pretty good. I think we'll just continue marching on the way we're marching. This is why the Cardinals are limiting. This is why the Cardinals limit your players. This is why I was tempted to make a graphic that said biggest bust in NFL history, and then MHJ bounces back a little bit, but his situation's going to hold him back. So I'd probably sell high on MHJ. There's probably some box score Bobby that didn't watch the game, didn't feel the MHJ unveiling and unraveling, rather, a crumble. MHJ crumbling into oblivion. MHJ was the biggest bust maybe in NFL history walking out of the first half. And if a box score Bobby wasn't, was sitting there at the end of the game looking at the box score, they might have no idea that MHJ's trapped in a weird situation where we could see this again next week. However, I will say from a promising perspective and angle, I do think MHJ may have turned a corner, may have broken the seal, if you will. Getting into the end zone the way he did, I know he scored in week 1, but getting in the way he did, catching that really tough catch, it was a tough hands catch. It was a really, really, really tough catch. MHJ got it, pulled it in. That was a pressure situation where he's been crumbling under pressure. And there's definitely a world where this could turn the tide in a sense for him. But again, what does that mean though? How much volume will he get? Is this team going to design 4 targets for him one week, 7 the next week, 2 the next week, 3 the next week, 3 the next week, 7, then 4? I mean, how is it going to look? So trading him on the highs, pretty good. Casual comment, Connor, I don't know why you put this receipt out there, Demarcado over Benson. Anybody talking like that right now, it's literally a casual comment. It's okay. You're upset. You had Benson. Maybe you're mad about it, or you missed out on getting Benson, and this is the validation for you that you didn't make a mistake by not picking him up or something. But clearly, there's going to be a lot of casual comments out there about Benson. Benson actually looked good. It's a volume concern. But that's what we're here to discuss, are the Cardinals a problem to where you can't even count on Benson? You definitely can't count on MHJ game in and game out, but you got to consider selling these Arizona Cardinal players. You just have to. Even Benson, I don't think you could sell him now, but I don't even know that I'd get rid of Benson. I still like Benson. Benson's still a very solid play. And look, Benson had 5 receptions, Smitty, wrong again. What else is new here? Why don't we just send you packing, K-Dog? You don't even have to be here. There you go. Now you're free. Go watch another channel. You're gonna come in and try and pretend like what? Pretend what, K-Dog? So we'll see you later, bro. Appreciate you. Man, we will see what happens. Yeah, Benson could be a good buy low. He's certainly not a good sell high yet. But if he goes off, you might want to consider it because of the volatility of the Cardinals situation. Lowe's, appreciate you dropping the $14.99 super chat here. Smitty King, 10 team PPR, 3 wide receivers. Trade offer my JT Pickens for Lamb, Scat, and Ladd. I'm probably not trading JT. I'd do something different. I think that's not enough. I like Scat. I do. Let me put this back up. Scat, Lamb. You're waiting on Lamb. I don't know. I guess I'd be okay with this if I knew your record. Did you tell me what your record is? If you were like 3-0, it'd be different. I could maybe say yes to that one if you were 3-0. So sick of this year, about to retire, says Viral Clips. Bro, this is why you play the game, though, okay? And we still got a lot of football to go. Traded Pittman for Judkins and Pearsall. Fantastic trade. Benson plus the Cardinals burned me out. 2-minute drill. Yeah, that 2-minute drill was probably rough for a lot of people that were expecting Benson to be in there, but they probably designed a lot of that without him. It's not really his fault there. I got offered Ted McMillan for my Ken Walker. I'd rather have Ted McMillan over Ken Walker. It's a total committee over there. And it's a bad thing. We'll talk about that more in a second. Sad MHJ this week for Worthy and Hendy mistake. We don't know, Rag. I mean, look, MHJ looked like the biggest blunder of fantasy football history. And then he came back and had a good game. CD for Rome and Debo. I'd take Rome and Debo, especially if you're not waiting. Or CD for B. No, not that other one. That other one's not good. But I would say if we're talking Walker, Charbs, so we have questions here. Benson, buy low, hold. He'll be better. He did well. 5 or 6 receptions. He did well. They took him out in the 2-minute drill, not because he was benched or made a mistake or anything like that. They took him out because he was not a part of the 2-minute drill designed, manufactured plays that they ran. But he'll be fine. He needs tons of volume. He probably will get more next week. But MHJ, I sell high because you can't trust Petson. You can't trust Gannon. You can't trust the Cardinals. You can't trust the game flow. You can't trust any of that. And how high are you on Gadsden? Love Gadsden. Gadsden is a total sleeper tight end. He's on the waiver wire list. Gadsden's probably, he needs to be moved up, though. He's probably like right here. Hunter, Henry, Gadsden. You could easily put him right there. I'd put Fannin above him. Let's move Pitts down a little bit. We'll move Likely down a little bit. Let me see if I can move Likely here. We'll move Likely down a little bit. We'll move Likely up once he's ready to go. So Gadsden's probably like right here. Gadsden's a fantastic grab, especially in Dynasty if he's available. But they starting to use him more. He's a preseason marvel. So he's on the rise. Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Genty for Neighbors, Knicks, Henry, Golden. Give me Neighbors, Knicks, Henry, Golden. For now, but that is a trade I can look at right now and say that the tide could turn for sure. The winds could shift, and I could like that other side better later. It's just the way it is. As for Charbs and Walker, look, this situation is as clumsy and crowded and undefined and muddy and confusing and heartbreaking and continuously heartbreaking, likely to be continuously heartbreaking right here moving forward. If I had to decide, everyone's very confused. I think no matter how clear I think I am, apparently it's confusing. We had a big debate in the chat. Everyone that was arguing against me, even Ron Navy, was thinking I was saying something I'm not. What I'm saying is this guy's catching too many strays. When people say he's better, he's not better. They're different. Walker can't stay healthy. Charbs has been banged up lately, so that could be the case for Charbs too. And then that becomes an even wash of injury concern. But Walker has had a history of not being able to stay healthy. And Charbs last year in 5 starts was a top 2 running back per start. If you extrapolate his 5 starts across the season, he was running back 2. And he was very impressive tonight. Walker was equally as impressive. I wouldn't say more impressive. I would say equally. That touchdown, that second touchdown run that Charbonnet got called back on that crap JSN hold call that was not a hold, that was an amazing run. There was shiftiness in there. That was as good as Kenneth Walker could have run, period. It doesn't mean Walker's bad. Walker's amazing. Walker had a fantastic run to set up that Charbonnet called back on a penalty touchdown run. So don't make any mistake about it. They're both very ultra talented. Drop hits for Gadsden. Yeah, maybe if you're wanting to roll the dice, I think it's riskier, but maybe more upside. Charbonnet looked fantastic on that run. It got called back on that crap holding call. But these two guys have very different skill sets. One is not better than the other. This guy's maybe more exciting to watch. He's more athletic. He has the cutback ability. Some of those stop on a dime things are the reasons we think he can't stay healthy. But Walker's more of a risk for this team to say, let's trade away Charbs, go all in on Walker, and he gets hurt again. So I don't know that they're going to go that route. They could. I'm not saying they won't. And then Charbonnet, every time they put him in there, he delivers. Walker, they pulled him because of a penalty, and they punished him. And then he had this one run where he lost like 5 yards. He cut back too much, danced around. It was his fault. He got swarmed, but then he tried to get out of it and got a loss of, I don't know how many it was, 5 or 6 yards. And his coach just was not happy then. So 2 things he did that made his coach upset, and then Charbs was back in again. I'm just telling you, Charbs is the better cost of entry. I don't know why that's so difficult to absorb. Charbs is the better cost of entry. Walker, you can trade now for more. Maybe not after this week. I don't know what the temperature is on that. But Charbs is free. Charbs is getting cut. Charbs has got the ability to be a top 6 to 10 running back, and he's on a lot of waiver wires. This guy is costing you equivalent of like 4, 5, 6 round trade value. I don't know where he'd go today after this game, but walking into the game, he probably had what was equivalent to 4, 5, 6 round trade value. But that's no longer in the cards. I don't think. We'll have to see what his trade value might be moving forward, but I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. The team needs to focus on Benson can do and think Benson is James Conner and not think Benson is James Conner. Benson's better than James Conner is currently, bro. Maybe back in James Conner's heyday. Benson's a monster. Anybody that thinks Benson did bad tonight isn't watching. They're box score bobbies. They're box score bobbies. Box score.
All right, prepare for take 1. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy.
I trade Turpin and Johnston for Jefferson in my league. It gets 1 point for every 10 years. It doesn't matter what your league gets. Good trade or no. Boardman, what do you think I'm going to say? You traded Topsy Turpin and Johnston? Turpin and Johnston aren't even in the conversation for being throw-ins in a deal where you get JJ. So, of course, I think you crushed that trade. Pick up Arroyo now. Absolutely in Dynasty. In redraft, it's hard to say. I mean, he definitely could climb really, really quickly. We love Arroyo. We've loved him all offseason. Arroyo's he reminds me of a young mini Antonio Gates. Or not mini. I'd say young, not Walmart version. What am I doing? I'm trying to degrade the guy. He's a young, up-and-coming, potentially like superstar tight end if they used him right. Jay, appreciate your super chat here. Walker and Charbs, what do you do? At this point, you should have been trying to trade Walker alone. It's what my going advice has been for 2 weeks straight. Trade Walker alone, keep Charbonnet, and get out while you can. I don't know that you're going to get out anymore. If you couple him with another player and a 2-for-1, it's your best shot. Walker and let's call it Ted McMillan for 1 wide receiver, 1 running back. Go after using Walker for Chase Brown right now, using some small throw-in, A.O. Manor or something like that. Drop MHJ for Godwin or Addison. Why would you drop MHJ after that performance with what he was staring in the face for Godwin, who we don't know what Godwin's going to be? Don't drop Addison. Absolutely not. Come on, guys. We've trained for this. What are we doing? Drop MHJ. Bro, look, MHJ was looking like the bust of the year, and I still wasn't going to drop him. But after that resurgence there in the second half, I hope... Steele, I don't know what you're talking about, Boardman. Oh, you're on the trade? Okay. Appreciate you. 0-3, thank you for the super chat again. Good job. It was more than a steal. It was a lambasting, bro. Maybe Pickens and Gordon for Kyron. Good luck on that. Good luck on that. I'd trade Tyler Warren to get Kyron if I needed to with Pickens. And I don't even want to trade Tyler Warren. I'm just saying, like, you can't expect to get Gordon and Pickens to get you Kyron. Kyron had a good game, bro. Like, maybe go get Benson for Gordon and Pickens right now, or go get Hendy before people. For some reason, people think Hendy's not doing it. You know, I don't understand the Hendy hate right now. Fields and T-Law also need a QB. Walker, Charbs. Got to trade Walker, Charbs if you trade Walker and I don't know, Keenan Allen and Walker for 1 better player, bro. That's what I'm trying to do if I'm you. That's all I'm focusing on. And trying to keep Charbonnet. If you got to trade both of them for like a Hampton, a Judkins, Hendy and something, you do it. Ladd, if someone's got Ladd and one of those players, start 2, Judkins, Scat, DJ Moore, or Swift. The answer, first of all, you're 3-0, so trust your gut. You've been doing a great job with what you are dealing with, what your lineup, your league. You've been doing a good job, bro. But my gut says Judkins and Scat. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. If it was me, guys, for the Walker questions, you're trying to get rid of Walker and keep Charbs. If you can't do that, somebody wants both of them, that's fine. I'm going after Hampton. I'll give up some more to get it done. I'm going after Judkins. I'll give up some more to get it done. I'll give up Keenan Allen. I'll give up Ricky Parasol if I have to. I'd trade Walker and Charbs straight up for Chase Brown right now and take that gamble potentially. Trade Pitt Sr., Genty, and DK for Breece Hall and Tedero and McMillan. I would probably say Breece Hall and Ted is safer, but Genty could. I hope that the tide changes on that. I really do. I really do. And I think it could. Right now, that other side with Ted is better. But I'm telling you right now, if you could weather through it, the other side might be better later. It's hard to say. I can't promise you it will be, but didn't start Charbs, PPR, Marks, Gordon, or Tootin now. Probably Tootin. You just got to make sure he's going to play. But I love the Kenneth Walker support, guys. Kenneth Walker was the first Moon Man to ever grace the Moon Man list. He was the reason we created it. So I don't want to hear that I'm some Walker hater. I'm not. But when it comes down to fantasy football value, the concern of holding on to Walker and getting screwed, that concerns me. I want my people to actively get out of it because it's a crowded situation. It's a complex and weird offense sometimes. The game script and game flow is weird, and it's a committee. So I want you to keep Charbs in case Walker goes down. Charbs is a top 5 to 10 proven running back in that system if he's getting all the work. So it's best to go trade Walker and get into a safer vehicle. And even if I'm wrong, you're not wrong because you're getting a player you love. Flowers and Kamara, Javonte, or Metcalf, one. I'm probably going to go with Javonte for safety, my boy. He's been doing it. He's been doing it well. Pick up Wicks versus Dallas. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody versus Dallas. Look at Caleb. Everyone thinks Caleb's for real now. He played the Dallas Cowboys. Every play he made, he was wide open. The receivers were wide open. So all Green Bay Packers should probably be started this week. Should be a really, really, really good outing. Judkins, yes, is one of my favorite buy low players right now. And he is a buy low because his value is going to go up even more. This team right here, trade advice, Adams, Rice, Devontae Smith. I'm trading Devontae Smith. I'm trading Hall, Devontae Smith and Hall, Benson and Devontae Smith, Benson and Hall. I'd take a gamble on Genty, honestly. I'd definitely go after the Hamptons and Judkins with those combos. If you go after something lower, you want to make sure, like Hendy, if you get Hendy, you can maybe get something more. I feel like MHJ will cause point chasing, no hate. I don't care if anybody wants to get rid of MHJ. MHJ is somebody I'm advising you right now to trade. I think trading high in MHJ, if you can, is worth doing right now. If nobody will buy this Paper Tiger outing, then you got to hold them, unfortunately. But no one should be cutting them. The fact that we've got people saying, do we cut MHJ? After that performance may have saved you the ability to trade him in a 2-for-1. No one's saying that you're going to get MHJ for, get a monster for MHJ. But what if you could get Ladd McConkey, who's struggling right now using MHJ? You couldn't do that. What if you could trade MHJ for Harvey and something, but I take a gamble on Harvey? You wouldn't have been able to do that if this game had ended the way that it started for MHJ. So I'm trading MHJ for Harvey. I'm trading MHJ for Hendy. I give up something more if I need to. I'm trading MHJ for Benson, who had a bad game in the owners. He had an okay game, actually. He had over 10 points. Dynasty 12-team Superflex, tight end premium. Traded a late first rounder in Debo for Kyron and Blake Corum. What do you think? I think that's fine. I don't hate that trade at all. I think that, Corum looks pretty good. If anything were to happen, he'd be solid. MHJ can get you Hendy right now. Of course it can. Of course it can. You can get Hendy, but you might have to give up more. You might not. It depends. There's people that are literally saying, I guess, do I cut Hendy? Do I trade Hendy for A.O. Manor? I love A.O. Manor. I'm the biggest A.O. Manor fan you're going to probably find. And A.O. Manor's been my number one wide receiver for over 2 weeks now. I love A.O. Manor. But you get Hendy right now, a top 10 running back. People are disrespecting Hendy. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a tough situation to be in. I'll be honest, guys. If you got Walker and Charbs, you're in a tough situation. This is why I've been saying for weeks to get out of the Walker game. You got Benson, just hang tight. You got MHJ, trade him now. Crafty fashion, creatively, trade him right now. Walker, trade him right now. Doesn't mean I don't love him. Doesn't mean I don't love him. Dynasty 12 team Superflex tight end premium just traded for. Oh, I just got that one. Thank you for that, my boy. And then Robert, appreciate you. I'm at 1 and 2 12 team fields. Hendy looking good. Yeah. Bucky, Hendy, Benson will be fine. Mahomes, love it. London will bounce back, but am I eager to trade London if I can? Sure. You know, Charbonnet to the Walker owner in panic mode right now maybe gets you a London upgrade. London and Burden look around. London and Benson for a JJ or a wide receiver upgrade would also be very, very smart. Be very, very smart. Hit me with any other questions you got. Mike says you missed my super chat, Smitty. Smitty, you missed my super chat. No, I didn't, Mike. Mike, I'm gonna let you sit here for a minute because I didn't miss. You're saying I missed your super chat, but let's be honest, Mike. Did you step out to take a potty break? Because I hit your super chat and you're saying I missed it, but I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it. I can promise you that. I'll even put it on screen. Everybody, did I miss this super chat? Pitts for Gadsden? I did not. Mike, did you step out? Just be honest. Did you step out for a potty break? I'm just asking for honesty. Because you tell me I missed your super chat. I didn't. Would you drop Hunter for A.O. Manor? If I had to, probably. But I would hope that I could do something else. Could appreciate you. I'm waiting for my... Wait, I didn't see it, my bad. But you could... How could you not see it? You just admit it. You stepped out. Or you closed the app or something. Just admit it. Because how could you miss it? I appreciate you, Mike. I would take Gadsden. As I said, I showed the waiver wire board. You couldn't have missed it because you had to. You're not telling the truth. You had to have stepped out or had a potty break because I literally showed the waiver board and did more than like a 2-second answer. We did a whole thing on it, Mike. No, Mike, I don't need a sorry or a ha-ha or an LOL. I need you to tell me, did you step out for a smoke or a potty break? I just want to know. Because people throw around the Smitty, you missed my super chat thing as if like, people are sitting at the table, right, ordering, and someone goes, you made my food wrong. And then everybody's like, oh, this guy doesn't answer super chats. Well, I do answer super chats, Mike. I just want to know, did you step out? He stepped out. I said I stepped out. Mike, I like Gadsden. He's a sleeper. He's a potential riskier play than Kyle Pitts. I do think Penix bounces back a little bit. But I do believe that this would be a high-risk, high-reward play. Dynasty, Mike, should already be on your roster. And this is what I showed you when you're on the potty break. Gadsden, we even moved him up. We did a whole, there's like a 2 or 3 minute segment. We moved him up. Fannin, I still like a little bit more, but he's right around this territory, Mike. This is what you missed when you were on the can. But you could always watch during the potty break. I mean, I think it's like the newspaper, essentially. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Chase Brown or Golden in the flex. I'm going to go this week. Golden's pretty safe, but I'm still playing Chase Brown. Coda, appreciate your super chat here. Switch the lineup. JSN. What are we doing here? Lamar, Gibbs, Judkins, AJ Brown, JSN, Bowers, Javonte Williams, Johnston. Hall, Worthy. I'm going Hall over. Chat, the only thing you'd switch. Guys, Golden or Hall over Johnston. Golden's got a great matchup. I don't think I'm sitting Breece Hall for Quentin Johnston. He's a little bit more of a paper tiger to me than the real deal. Got offered 28 first rounder for Harvey. I'd rather have Harvey. I really still believe in him. Chase Brown, Golden after leaning Golden. I still starting Chase Brown, but trust your gut because it's close. Godwin or for MHJ. We just had this question. Why would you want Godwin over MHJ? Godwin's coming back from like a severed ankle, and there's no. I mean, MHJ at least rebounded. No way I want that. Tet, Golden, Hendy, flex. I'm gonna go probably Tet for safety in PPR. Hendy for high risk, high reward play. But Tet for safety. Golden's a nice safe play too. I think it's a really, really good matchup. But I think I'd probably be starting Hendy personally, unless some news is shakes out bad at the last second. Are we dropping Ridley for Arroyo? I would definitely take Arroyo. Or I'm sorry, Ayo Manor. Sorry, Ayo Manor. My King Henry for Garrett Wilson, Chuba, King Henry. And Mike, by the way, I'm not mad at you. I'm merely trying to prove a point. Like I said, if you're serving food at a restaurant and one table says you got my order wrong when you didn't, and you're screaming, "Hey, you got my order wrong, everyone!" I'm just setting the record straight, Mike. I still love you. You know you're my boy, Blue. 1 and 2 trade BTJ for Rice. People drop a super chat when the show's over, and then they're like, "Smitty, you missed my super chat during the show. You didn't answer it." It's like, bro, you dropped it when the show was over. Like, I always do my best. And I'll keep the chat up for a while. I'll look at it because somebody usually like pauses it and goes back. I get it. But it's funny. 1 and 2 trade BTJ for Rice. I'd rather have Rice. Evigbuka, Ayo Manor. Yeah, if you got Ayo Manor in the meantime, bro, that's a nice situation you got there on your hands. Mike, I appreciate you, Mike. Poor Mike. Mike, are you never going to super chat again, are you? My bad, Mike. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Trade CMC Cup and Wandell for Cook and AJB and Rashee Rice. Chad, are we taking James Cook, AJB, and Rashee Rice for CMC? I think I am. CMC's going to break. Maybe not this week. Maybe not next week. Maybe not for a month. Herb and Ayo Manor for his JD5 fair offer. I'd take JD5. I think is it a fair offer? No. But is it an offer I could see getting executed upon? Sure. 100% though. Do it live. Is Mike still here? Is Mike? Are you still, Mike? Are you sorry, Smitty, bro? Always on top of never questioning it again. Boy, Mike, I'm not messing with you. I am, and I'm not. Part of me's not. Part of me's being real. But need a wide receiver. Would you do McBride, Keenan, and Benson for Jamar, Ferguson, Tet? Jamar, Ferguson, Tet. I would take. And Benson, man, Jamar Ferguson. I'd probably take the Jamar side by a hair, but that's a close call, bro. That's a really, really, really close call. Really close call. Working on MHJ for Hendy. Love that. Good vibes being sent, Uncle. Good job. Trade London, Kamara, and Charbs for Cook and Rome. I would take Cook and Rome. Yeah. Trade JT and Quentin Johnston for Henry and St. Brown. Henry and St. Brown by a country mile. Country mile. Because Derrick Henry and JT, look, you can say what you want about the dude. comparing the two. But I mean, what are we doing here? That's a St. Brown over Quentin Johnson. It's insane, bro. That's amazing. Benson at least in double digits. Yeah, I mean, Benson. Anybody crapping on Benson right now? It's a very casual attack. Trade CD for Rome and Debo or BTJ and Judkins. I'd like Rome and Judkins, but if those are different teams, I think I'd take BTJ and Judkins. I think I'd want a little more if you can get away with it. Chat, what do you think? BTJ and Judkins, or what would you do there? That's a tough one. My lad tootin' for Hertz Rice went through. Nice, bro. That's an insane trade. Traded Monty and Debo for Ladd and Adunze. I like that. W. I really like Adunze and Ladd right now moving forward. I think it's a fantastic trade. Ladd and Jacoby Myers, Debo, Shakir, CMC, Bucky, Brees, Walker started already. Which 5 would you start this week? CMC, Bucky. You already started Walker. Probably Debo if JD5 plays, and then Hall. Judkins, but trust your gut on that. Judkins or Genty this week. I like Ladd next. If I didn't mention Ladd next. If let's say Debo doesn't have JD5, but Debo and Ladd would still be close. Judkins or Genty this week. Judkins, Caleb or Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels plays, Jaden Daniels. Jacobs or Kyron rest of season. Probably Kyron, but maybe Jacobs this week. I'm sorry, but that's just the answer I got to give you. What could I get for MHJ and Dynasty? Hendy, Ladd. Those would be the first players I think of and run to go get. Thank you for the blank super chat. Make sure you put your message in the chat or I won't see it. Start 1 PPR, Bill, Tootin, RJ. Tootin until further notice. Make sure he plays. I have no running back depth. Who are your sleepers to trade for? Harvey, Hendy. You're talking about like sleepers, bro? Like sleepers? Tootin's going to rise maybe into the lineup. That would be my number 1. But Hendy and Harvey as well. Those are guys that you're getting before that, anything happens. Charbonnet, people cut him this week. People cut him walking into the week. I don't know why, but they did. They certainly did. They did not like him. They were upset. There's a lot of upset Ungers out there that cut poor old Charbonnet. Did nothing wrong to them. BTJ, B Hall, Tyler Warren for Bum. Who's Bum, bro? I have no idea who Bum is. Tyler Warren for Bum, Tootin and JCM. BTJ, Brees Hall, Tyler Warren for Bum. I don't know what this is. Dylan, you're going to have to repeat that. I have no idea what that means. Does anybody know who Bum is? Wide receiver 1 flex, Ridley, Mooney, Tolbert. But I'd go probably Burden and, man. I guess I'd give a shot at Ridley Rock out this week, but I don't like any of those options. Those are awful. Or at least the second one is. The second option. 2-1 trade CD for Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, I mean, you got to take the CD value, bro. They're all important decisions, bro. Not just yours. They're all important. But I appreciate you. Genty, if you're selling what's worthy worth. Harvey, Tootin, Benson, Ladd. Oh, I'm sorry, Genty. What? Oh, no, Worthy. Genty, if you're selling what's a worthy trade. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Worthy, bro. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Worthy. For Genty, it's Judkins. It's I saw Worthy, and I'm like, Genty, it's for Judkins, Hampton, Hendy, Garrett Wilson. And if you get some of those running backs, you want to try and get more if you can, because you kind of can. $20 hauler from Mike dropping. Mike dropping a $20 hauler from the can. Love it, Mike. Smitty, you're the GOAT. This is an apology. You don't have to apologize. Bro, Mike, I'm just joking with you, bro. I need help. I'm 0-3. Here's my roster. Jalen Hurts, Ladd, MHJ, Rome, Jordan Addison, Worthy, Hendy, Mason, Charbs, Laporta. Look, your team, Ladd, it will come around. MHJ, I'm selling like I've described. Like MHJ and Walker for like Hendy right now would be unreal, but you got him already. So you got to look at, Judkins or Hampton or Chase Brown would be a good gamble, I think, right now using MA. And you can maybe get something with that. Ladd, I like to trade for, but you have him. Worthy and Mason for Judkins, Hampton type of player. Chase Brown. London would be a good go get using MHJ, and probably, man, I would trade. Oh, you don't have Walker. I was thinking of Walker too. Go to the Walker owner, bro. See what they can upgrade MHJ, Mason, or Addison or Worthy into. But Worthy and MHJ, Worthy and Addison, Worthy and Mason, Worthy and Charbs. I'm just trying to go get. Yeah. What wide receiver could you get? I love the idea of buying Henry low. I'd sell Jalen Hurts for Mahomes and see what MHJ could turn into. What I like Rome a ton. Trying to upgrade Mason, Charbs, Addison, MHJ using Hurts to Mahomes, or go to the Walker owner. I'd start with those two situations, Mike. Baby steps, my boy. Traded away BTJ for Rice. Love that. Have JJ, Buka, Wilson approved. Yes, Smitty approved, bro. I mean, as long as you think you'll be okay, I'm fine making that maneuver. Pacheco on waivers, as he should. How much fab? 0. Need 2 flexes. JCM, Jennings, DJ Moore, Tootin, Shakir. I'm going to go DJ Moore and Tootin. JCM, Buka, Tootin for BTJ Hall and Tyler Warren. Buka was bum? Buka, a.k.a. bum. I wouldn't call him a bum, though. Tootin for BTJ Hall and Tyler Warren. Buka and Tootin for BTJ Hall, Tyler Warren. I'm probably going to say, damn, man. Damn. I'm probably going to go, give me the Hall, Tyler Warren. Chat, what are we doing? Hall, Tyler Warren, and BTJ, or Buka and Tootin and JCM? If Tootin turned out to be a top 8 running back, you'd regret trading Buka and Tootin. But right now, BTJ, Hall, and Warren might get you more points. So let's see what the chat thinks on that one. But that's a close call, bro. Superflex, Brees, and Fields for H. Higgins. I would take, I don't know what Higgins that is, bro. Jaden Higgins, T. Higgins, big difference. I would say if this is just Jaden Higgins, Brees and Fields. I mean, if you didn't need Fields, if you're taking away your second quarterback, I don't think you can do this. But I'd take Achane for sure if it was, not going to impact you. BTJ side, keeping Buka, Hall. Okay, it looks like the Hall BTJ side wins by a hair. John with a $20 super chat. John, you're the man, the myth, the legend. 3-0, as you should be. In a 12-team PPR, any way to improve my team? Lamar, Walker, Genty. I'm trading Walker. Where's Charbonnet? You don't even have Charbonnet. Puka, Tetaroa, Waddle, Ao Manor, Tucker, Worthy. All right, so Worthy and Walker for Hampton, for Judkins, for you got Genty already, for Hendy. Walker and Worthy for Hendy and something. If you go after Hampton, I'd do it straight up. Judkins, I'd do it straight up. Chase Brown. I'd rather have Chase Brown over Walker and Worthy, but I'm trying to get something with it. I'd do Walker for Chase Brown. Try that first. Try Walker for Hendy first. Try and do that. Genty, Mason, Lamar. I'm willing to bet on Genty, Mason, Lamar, and Scat. If you were to trade Walker and Worthy for, let's say, London and take a gamble on that, or Tetaroa, McMillan, and Walker for JJ, Waddle and Worthy, Waddle, Worthy, and Walker all for one player, that would be something I would be interested in. Chad says, Smitty, you just yapping. Here you go, Chad. How about you yap over somewhere else? Is that okay? Is that what you want, Chad? Let me know, Chad, real quickly before I do it. I just want to make sure that's what you want. Let me know what you want. I'll wait for your. If I don't get a reply, I'll decide for you. But I want to see what you want to do. If you want to be here, or if you want to just be here and be a critical person. Start 1. BTJ, Chase Brown, Hendy. Let's go with Hendy, but it's a close call. Would you ever do a show for player props? We do a show. I show them all the time, but I'm gonna have a dedicated show hopefully next week moving forward. So next week moving forward. I mean, actually, we still have time. I can still do a dedicated show for it. Did he end up saying anything? I don't think he ended up saying anything, so I think he wants me to decide for him. Chad, going once, Chad, going once. Let me see here. Chad going once, going twice. Oh, he's gone anyway. There you go, Chad. See you later, Chad. We'll see you, pal. All right, back to the positive people in the building. Okay, need help. 0-3, 12 team, 2 QB super flex. QBs are Lamar Jackson, Rodgers, Flacco, London, Olave, A.O. Manor, Cup, Evans, Rice, Jacobs, Benson, Harvey, Pacheco, Tracy, Garendo. Tight ends, Henry, Kittle, Smith. Probably looking to... God, you're 0-3. You're probably needing to make a move with Rice. So Jacobs, let him ball out this week. Then we address trading him high. Should have a huge game against the Dallas Cowboys. Benson, can't sell him right now. Can't sell your running backs at all right now. Tracy, you could probably cut. Or put him on IR or whatever. Maybe he is on IR. Rice for... Garrett Wilson. Rice for a lad and a running back. Go to the Hendy owner, see if they've got a lad. Go to the Hampton owner, see if that's a doable thing with Rice and something. Go to the Scattaboo owner, go to the Mason owner, go to the Chase Brown owner. I like the idea of Chase Brown using Rice, bro. That might be something that gets you points. You take a little bit of a risk on Chase Brown. It is what it is. You know, I understand it's not the most ideal situation, but he's a risk worth taking. Just traded Addison or Genty. Just traded Addison for Golden. Was that a bad deal? Not this week. I think you're going to get a lot of Golden this week playing Dallas. Start 1 half PPR, BTJ, Chase Brown, and Hendy. I'm going to go probably Hendy if the news looks right, if not Chase Brown. Again, I'll do a prop show at some point, hopefully this week and then going forward. Yeah. And it'll be more than just prop. It will be more. I'm going to do a show that's going to do a lot of hires on Underdog, promo code Smitty, by the way. And we'll break it down. Play $5, get 100. We'll break it down in a way that's really entertaining for those that don't even want that information. It's still going to talk about the players, you know, like highlight 3 or 4 players of the week, and then by the way, look at their hire. Chase Brown, BT, Hendy. Yeah, you're news dependent on this one, my boy. News dependent. This one here was trading Kamara away for Benson looking like a mistake. Bro, you're 1 game in. Don't react to Roger this thing. Calm down. Kamara has been struggling in his own right in some ways. Just Benson, let Benson be. It's not a crazy trade. Either way, you just don't know. You just don't know how it's going to shake out, but you can't overreact over one Thursday game. It's a Thursday game. You traded for him on a Thursday game. You know, this is a lot of time expected. It's his first go, too. 0-3. My team is Knicks, Chase Brown, Chuba, Lamb, Rice. Okay, so maybe trading Lamb and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill and Hubbard for one stronger running back. Obviously, he'll shoot for H-hands. And, you know, Genty would be great for Tyreek Hill. Hubbard for Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry, Hubbard for Genty. Tyreek Hill for Genty. Lamb for Ladd and a Judkins, or a Ladd and a Hendy, or a Ladd and a, you know, Hampton type of situation. Definitely use Ladd. Try and go to the Hampton, Hendy, Judkins owners and see what they have wide receiver wise to see if that makes sense. Scattaboo for Henderson. It could go either way. I think Scat's going to be really consistent, but I'd probably rather have Henderson, but that could change, you know, in 1 week. Trade away Bo Nix and Brian Thomas Jr. and T. Law and a 26 first rounder, 12-man Superflex Dynasty. Trade away Bo Nix for BTJ and T. Law. I'd probably say I would, if you're gonna, depends what you are. If you still have at least one good quarterback, I probably would rather have BTJ, T. Law, and a 26 first rounder, because it's not that I don't love Bo Nix, I do, but I would take that and I think I can turn it into more later. Superflex, I got Josh Allen and Mahomes as starters, B. Hall, Fields, and Achane. Starters, B. Hall, Fields for Achane and T. Higgins. B. Hall. I would take Achane and T. Higgins. And then I'd try and trade T. Higgins. He tried to trade me T. Law and Higgins. And I've got Genty and Harvey. Okay. But then try and flip T. Higgins. This team right here. Team thoughts and trade ideas. So Allen, Lovett, Benson, Hendy, Harvey. It'll come around on the running back stable, bro. Chase and Garrett Wilson. I like your team a lot. I'm trying to maybe flip like Devontae Smith and Jalen Warren for a slight running back upgrade into the Judkins, Hampton, Hendy scenario. I think that's the only thing I'm trying to really do with that team. That team's really, really solid. Looking to make a trade for Bijan, and the manager who's hurting at wide receiver. So you're probably, in order to get Bijan, Judkins, DJ Moore, and Ridley. I'd take Bijan for that, sure. I've got Henry, Mason. I'd take, you know, maybe Pickens or BTJ with Mason even might get it done. Probably not. I would trade Judkins and Mason. I'd trade Judkins and I wouldn't trade Buka, but trade Judkins and Pickens. I'd trade Hubbard and Judkins even for Bijan. Bijan's like insane, bro. If this guy's in panic mode, you know, Pickens in one of those running backs, and then if you got to like include a third one, maybe you get something else involved. $20 hauler from Esteban. Smitty, what do you think Walker from Marv? I don't want, that's like trading one nutsack kicked for another, bro. I don't know that I want to go that route. Chat, what would you rather have, Marv or Walker? Marv or Walker? What do you think about Walker, Marv? Do you consider this a lateral move? Yes. And I was working on a trade sending Walker and AJB for Henry and Marv. That I like that. Go get Henry. But then I flip Marv. I'm flipping Marv for Ladd. I'm flipping Marv for Harvey. So, but as far as who do I value more, Marv or Walker? Walker. I still think Walker's got more value, but I think he's probably got more trade value because he's a running back. Are you top 5 wide receivers? Who are my top 5 wide receivers rest of the season? Kind of tough, you know, with the injuries. I would say right now it's, you know, Neighbors and JJ and Puka, and not in any particular order, really. St. Brown, and then probably Nico Collins, and then or Chase. I'm sorry, Chase. I'll go Chase, then Nico. So Neighbors, maybe Neighbors, Nakua, St. Brown, JJ, Jamar Chase, and then Nico potentially. And then Lamb, once he's back, obviously, you know, is a guy you throw right into the top 3. But it's tough to say with the injury. It's hard to rank Lamb there. Smitty, I just traded Bucky and Genty for Bijan. I think that was a lot. I think it could work out either way, but it's certainly not a lambasting on either side. It's like, well, we'll see how it works out. If Genty blows up, then you're going to be wishing you didn't. If he doesn't, you'll be glad you did it. Genty versus the Bears or Scattaboo Chargers. I'd probably say Scattaboo's safer. Genty's higher risk, higher reward. You got to pick your poison based on what you need with your specific team, my boy. Just traded Amon-Ra plus Hunter plus JCM for London, Genty, Pitts. I'd rather have London, Genty, Pitts if my team is in need of a change. If you're winning, I'm keeping it the way it is with St. Brown balling out. So it depends on your situation entirely. 12-man, half PPR, Evans, IR, and CD traded CD and Genty for JJ and Walker and Devontae Smith and Mooney for DK. So Devontae Smith and Mooney for DK, lost Evans. I like the DK trade. But as far as this other one, traded CD for Genty and CD and Genty for JJ and Walker. I'd rather have CD and Genty by a little bit, not a ton. There's arguments to be made with the missed time and everything, but that's just the way I look at it, because I don't know. I just think Lamb is hard to give up, and Genty I think bounces back to a degree. Traded Walker and Pittman for Neighbors and Algier. That's a smash. I have Bijan. That was a great trade, bro. You crushed him. 3-0. My CD or DK plus Judkins. CD for DK. I'd rather have CD if you're 3-0. But Judkins and DK is pretty damn good, bro. That's a pretty good trade. I mean, either way, you're fine. You could score the same amount of points at the end of the day. My Mason for Neighbors. Come on, man. Genty, come on, man. You know Neighbors is better than Mason. Ship DJ Moore and ETN for Hendy. Ship DJ Moore and ETN for Hendy. I'd take Hendy, but it's a risk. Like, I almost feel like you probably should get more. What do I do with Charbonnet? Hold or flip? I mean, call the Walker owner, see if you could upgrade a player. Any one of your wide receivers, your starting running backs or wide receivers, but I definitely hold them. And Neighbors over, come on. That question was silly, bro. 12-team PPR, 2 flex. QB, running back, CMC, Jacobs, Judkins, Benson, Harvey, Charbs. So Charbs is the Walker owner, trying to upgrade something like London a little bit, or JSN a little bit, or Jameson Williams a little bit. Jameson and London for 1 upgrade. JSN and London for 1 upgrade. JSN and Jameson for 1 upgrade. Benson and London for a monster running back. Benson and JMO for a slight, like, even Judkins, or you got Judkins already, for a slight JJ, like Benson and London for JJ. That could be good. Swavy. I like that. I like that a lot. What else we got? K9, definitely the better back when healthy, says Mark. Mark, I mean, I know that's what everybody wants to say. And I'm not saying that I don't agree that he's a more athletic player and more fun player to watch. But Charbonnet produced top 5 fantasy football production. He's just more of a straight line. I mean, he's got wiggle. That touchdown run was wiggle, but I don't know that this kid, I think he's catching too many strays right now. I think Charbonnet is catching too many wild strays. I'm 0-3, traded CD Tootin for Golden Igbuka, Chase Brown. CD Tootin for Golden Igbuka, Chase Brown. Give me Chase Brown and Buka, because I would take Buka over CD right now with the missed time anyway. So I like Chase Brown a lot at the cost. I'm not saying I'm not worried, but right now he's free. I like the idea of a free Chase Brown. It's pretty nice. I'm not saying it definitely returns value, but it's pretty nice. Give Kyron and Zay for Judkins. Wait, what? Kyron for Zay and Judkins? Yeah, take Zay and Judkins, in my opinion. Ridley and Tootin for Judkins. I'd take Judkins. Like, it's not even, like, that second one's not even close. Definitely do the second one if you can. Yeah, Ridley and Tootin. I mean, who's going to give you Judkins for that? Is that just you're thinking that right now, or is that actually on the table? Because that would be wild. I think you're expecting the world there. Probably won't get it, but do I trade my Barkley, McLaurin, and Pollard for St. Brown and Kamara? I probably would, but then I flip Kamara because I don't want to keep Kamara, but I like the value that he probably gets you back in a trade because you could get a Hendy right now, a Hampton, Judkins potentially, bro. Going broke here, LOL. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Young. Appreciate you. Young to the moon. Look, Thursdays sometimes are not kind or mostly not kind to the fantasy world. So everybody needs to not beat themselves up over it, what's happening on a Thursday game, especially if you put somebody in and they didn't do well. Travis says, Benson didn't get chances in the 2-minute offense, the defensive versus the defensive lineup. Yeah, that wasn't, I wouldn't look at that like he did anything wrong. He just wasn't prepared for those plays. Those plays have been run a specific way. I think people should be excited that there was talk that the third down back was going to beat DeMarcado, the convenience store, all day long. But it wasn't. So, I mean, there was a positive. But when it came down to the 2-minute drill, Benson wasn't versed in what they were working with. So that's all it was. It sucked, but it is what it is. That touchdown should have been Benson's. I know everybody wanted it. We're hearing the same thing on the Kenneth Walker side of the ball. So it's just, it sucks for running backs. And we saw it, happen with Monty and Gibbs. And it's, a constant thing in the NFL now that they do use multiple running backs to save running backs from getting injured. But I don't think that was really what was going on as much tonight as the play calling just didn't feed him volume. Benson did well when he was given the work. Benson for McMillan, straight up, I'd take Tet McMillan in a heartbeat. And I like Benson, but that's a good PPR wide receiver to get right now. Unless Benson's your running back, you're starting one of your starting 2 running backs or something like that. But Tet's a nice get. Aaron, appreciate you. 10-man, 3-0. Patrick Mahomes. Guys, hit the like button if you're in the building, and please subscribe if you're new. I got 1,000 of you YouTubers on here watching. Please hit subscribe. Thank you so much. This is your one-stop shop. We go live more, I believe, more than anybody you can find, in my opinion. Go live after every game. Go live before every game. I go live after the morning and afternoon games end. I go live before and after the Sunday night game. I go live before and after the Thursday game, before and after the Monday game. I go live at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. I'm live literally every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever big news breaks, and I'm live almost every single midnight Eastern, which sometimes falls into the wrap-up shows of these games. 10-man, 3-0, Mahomes, Ladd, DK, Juwan Johnson, Flexa, Dunze, Pickens, Allen, Bench, Swift, Austin, Dart. Should I hold? Yeah, I don't know. I don't mean this to sound like I don't like your team or anything, but this is tough. Where let's see here. You have Ladd, DK. It's tough to move, I should say. It's not a tough team as much as tough to move. I don't know. Did you not list your starting running backs? That's partly why it's probably feeling this way, but I think your team, look, Pickens and Adunze are fine. And Keenan Allen's playing really, really good ball. And you're starting all those flexes. Those are pretty damn good. I like your team. I'm not sure what to do without the running backs, though. But I would say right now you're 3-0. What I see right here, I think it produces pretty well. I mean, I'd like to get out of DK if I can, but it depends on what you can get. Thank you for the blank super chat live. Appreciate you. You got to include the message in there. I won't be able to find it amongst the chat as we're ripping through all the messages. Traded Bijan, Addison, and Worthy for Hampton, Ladd, and BTJ. Bijan, Addison, Worthy for Hampton, Ladd, BTJ. As much as I love BTJ, I probably look at this as a big downgrade from Bijan to Hampton, even though I love Hampton. And then the difference between Ladd and BTJ, which is kind of an unknown, hasn't bounced back type of thing, versus Addison Worthy, it's negligible. Original trade was Bijan for BTJ. So I don't know. I'd probably rather have Bijan at this current moment in time versus all of that. but doesn't mean that it can't work out. I mean, if you get a bounce back out of the receivers that you got, it's going to be great. Drop Fannin or Burden for Dobbs. Juwan is my tight end. I mean, he could do well this week, bro. The matchup is phenomenal, but as far as like trying to predict what this means for the year, like Burden and Fannin, I like more than Dobbs on the year, just maybe Dobbs this week. So it kind of depends on what you need. If you're trying to win this week, I get it. I get it, my boy. Double dividends. You said I didn't get this one. Let me see if I... Wide receiver heavy, weak at running back. Trade Devontae Adams for Judkins. I don't remember if I did this one or not, so I'm not going to yell at you. Maybe I did miss this one. Weak at running back. Trade Devontae Adams for Judkins. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with either side. You need Adams? I get it. Adams is kind of banged up, so I think Judkins is a W, bro. I think it's a good move. I like it. I'd trade Adams for Judkins, I think, in general. You know, it's close. I could Smitty approve either side, but I'd rather have Judkins if I'm picking. Starting running back, Gibbs and Williams. Aaron, I don't know what this means. Oh, from the other chat? Okay. Kyron Williams and Gibbs. Yeah. DK and... I don't know what you could even get for DK, bro, right now. I think he's got to have some consistency. I like your team. Your team looked good. Your receivers are going to be consistent and score well. I don't know that you have a lot of trade potential right now with your squad, if I'm looking back at it real quickly. Aaron, thank you. Aaron, yeah, so Mahomes, you had Ladd, DK. Adunze maybe, but, you know, maybe you trade DK and Adunze for, like, JJ or something, bro, if you were to try and do anything wild. Or trade for, you could trade for Rice or Lamb using, like, Keenan Allen and Swift, or Swift and DK, or DK and Keenan Allen or something like that, bro, and take a risk and wait on those guys, especially Rice, who's only out 3 more games. Thoughts on PPR trade? CD, Jacoby, Myers, Rashad White, and Zay Flowers for Ladd, Javonte Williams, and Kittle. It's such a tough trade though, because I don't. Flowers is pretty decent. Flowers and Lamb. For Ladd, Javonte, Kittle. I'd probably say I'd rather have Lamb and Flowers at the end of the day and Jacoby Myers. Just because I like Tet, I like Javonte. Kittle's hurt. I don't know. I don't think that's the move I would have made. I don't hate it on either side, though. It's not like you got ripped off. It's very close. It's just not maybe the move that I wanted if I'm doing that, you know. Chat, do you agree or disagree on that? Javi, appreciate you. Traded MHJ and JD5 for Drake, London, and Benson. I have Caleb Williams as my other QB, which I'm not a huge fan of for the long term of the season. But I would say, bro, if you trust Caleb, you think Drake, London, and Benson are gonna ball out. I mean, I'm fine with this trade. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it either way. I think it could go well either way. I think it's solid. Kevin with a $20 blank super chat. Kevin, I appreciate you, Kevin. What a monster he is.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Kevin, thank you, pal. Kevin to the moon. I'll try and look and see if you have any other message anywhere. Trade MHJ to get BTJ, or should I get more? I'd take BTJ and run. In fact, that'll be one of the pieces of advice. If we are trading MHJ right now and you can get BTJ, you do it. You do it live. You do it. You do it real nice. Jesse says, I missed his super chat, but he's very careful how he's telling me. So, Jesse, I'm sorry if you feel that scared to tell me. My bad. Need to flex. JCM, Jennings, DJ Moore, Toot, and Shakir. I did answer this, though. Yeah, I did, but Jesse, it's okay. The way you set it up, I'd feel bad yelling at you. I did say this. I remember I wavered on it, or you don't remember. You weren't there. You were taking a potty break. But I wavered on it and said, I'm going DJ Moore and Tootin'. but make sure Tutin's playing, I think is what I said. The other players, I mean, Jennings, if you want to go Jennings and he's healthy playing, then, but he's been hurt all week. JCM's hurt. I think I just go with Tutin as long as Tutin's playing, because Tutin's he's like a guy gets shot out of a cannon, man. Smitty, they offered me BTJ Mason and Olave for CMC. It's not enough, man. There's too many question marks. I like Mason, but you can't do that. You need to get 2 pots of gold. You didn't even get 1 pot of gold. So that's not enough. Not enough, not enough, not enough. Travis, if you want to dial in, you can. I might take a few brief phone calls, but that is it. We're not going to be here. I don't know how much longer we might be here. Sometimes I say that and I'm here for another 3 hours. But let's see here. Sit 2. Sorry, Mateo. I just pulled your message on here on accident. Sit 2, Chase, Nico, Myers, Johnston, BTJ. Sit 2, Chase, Nico, Myers, Johnston, BTJ, Myers. Probably Johnston and Myers. If you want to start Jacoby Myers over BTJ, I'm okay with that, but I probably wouldn't. Thank you for the super chat. Travis, you're live. What do you think about the game? Any takeaways for MHJ? Any takeaways from the Seattle running back situation, which caught a lot of chaos in the Patreon for some reason, but it's a sharing situation. I don't know. I know Ron and some people are getting mad at me going, Smitty, Kenneth Walker deserves it though. I didn't say he didn't deserve it, but they're both, it's a crappy situation, and they're both really good running backs. They both do stuff very, very well. They're both monsters.
I think a lot of the partially in the the game day lounge thing, it's people are rooting for their players too, so it's part that.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of it, I think it's also that Walker looks healthy and he looks really dynamic, and we know he's a good goal line back too. He scores touchdowns, so yeah, he deserves it. But if you look at it from a football standpoint, as long as they keep winning, they're going to keep using both of them, because it's going to keep both of them healthy. Both of them have had injury issues, so if they can, split the carries and situationally make it work, I think they just stick with it, which sucks for fantasy.
Yeah. So my argument would be that who should I start? Baker, Dino, Fields, Baker, bro, and then trade Hampton and Scatterboo for Bijan if you like winning. Yes, go get Hampton, Scatterboo, or trade Hampton, Scatterboo for Bijan. And then this one real quickly is Jaylen Warren and T. Higgins for Tet and Harvey. I'd take Tet and Harvey, honestly. So my take would be this. I agree with you. And remember, Kenneth Walker was the first original Moon Man ever, which is crazy because it feels like he just got in the league, but that's how long we've been doing this. Walker was the first original Moon Man. So it is a special place in my heart. But while it's very easy to say he's such a good nose for the end zone running back, and he is. He's really good at scoring touchdowns. Charbonnet is too. Charbonnet's never faltered or failed to be an elite player when given the... I'm talking about an elite player. Charbonnet has been more of an elite player than Walker has been in their heights. I'm not saying that Charbs had a ton of time to prove that, but if we take last year when they both were elite players, Walker was number 1 in missed tackles forced last year. This is 2024. And he was number 5 in yards after contact. And he was fantastic. But if you extrapolate the 5 games that Charbonnet started last year and spread them out over the course of a whole entire season, the duo was running back 5. If you just take one start, you don't use them both at the same time. You just have to pick and choose. You Walker, Charbs, Walker, and you start 17 starts. They were running back 5. If you extrapolate just Charbonnet's, he was running back 2. So if you look at Charbs, has done nothing but deliver. Look at these Green Lake games: 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. He's just a monster. So I get where people are coming from, where they're like, Walker's proven it, he deserves it. Charbonnet deserves it just as much. That's the problem. They both have delivered whenever they've been called upon. That is not a knock on Walker. Everybody takes it like a knock on Walker. Ron was taking it as a knock on Walker, And it's not a knock on Walker. They both have delivered whenever they've been called upon. It is a tough situation to be in, plain and simple. And at the end of the day, there's one thing that we know for certain. It's a committee until they trade one of them. Will they trade one of them? I don't know. Who would they trade? I don't know, because guess what? Bigsby wasn't the most attractive contract to trade. It was ETN, and the Jaguars sent Bigsby packing. So we don't know. It could be either one of them, or it could be neither one of them. But, we'll see what happens. And then real quickly, hold on, and I'll let Travis respond. I traded BTJ and Scat for Bucky. Too much? No, that's fine. That's BTJ's a question mark right now, bro. So it's an easy trade. Mason and Dak for Neighbors. Come on. I have Fields and Purdy. Yeah, even if it's a super flex, which I assume it is. If it's not a super flex, then I don't even know what you're even like. This is gonna get vetoed even without vetoes. But if it's a super flex, I still do it because you got 2 quarterbacks here. Fine. Thank you for the super chat. All right, go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, and I think as long as they keep playing winning football and the offense is playing well, because the offense is playing well. Darnold looks pretty good right now, and JSN is great. So I don't think they will trade for him if they think they can make a playoff push. Why would you really, if you think about it? If you can be a playoff team, if they think they can.
Yeah, these coaches get enabled. It's the same thing with Sean Payton in Denver. Unfortunately, when J.K. Dobbins scores a touchdown, then it's like Payton's like, yeah, this is working, and that sucks. It is what it is. When Ramondre was responding, caught a touchdown pass that was supposed to be Hendy's in week 2, and that was a Hendy wheelhouse that he was going to take to the house call Hendy,
Mm-hmm.
and Stevenson executed upon it, and then Hendy was benched for the holding calls or the penalties, and then all of a sudden it's like, damn it, that's enabling, and then Ramondre fumbles it, and then that's hopefully enabling. We'll see how that works, but yeah, look, Benson also had a shot today, and some think he failed. He didn't fail. He just didn't get the volume. He was averaging 4.7 a carry up until the last carry or two, which were he was swarmed, and then it went down to 4.4 or something like that. So he's above 4 yards per carry. He caught 5 or 6 balls. I mean, he did what he could. It was a double-digit fantasy football scoring outing in PPR. So I think people are wild to blame Benson. Benson wasn't benched. That's another casual comment. I'm sorry, Charles. I didn't mean to say you're a casual, but it's a casual comment. People are saying Benson was benched and they don't trust. It was a 2-minute drill. Some teams, they have certain players for their 2-minute drill, and it's just the way they operate. But more so than that, it's Benson hasn't been prepped for it all year, and they probably put DeMarcado in that situation in practice over and over and over. Why though? But why though, Scattaboo? I don't know. You're just saying Scattaboo. Okay, yeah, nice. I like that. And then Marv for Igbuka and Dynasty. What do you think, bro? Come on, man. Come on. I mean, I sometimes I wonder how some of you get out of bed in the morning. I really do. Smitty, super chat me. Smitty, should I get out of bed? Igbuka, bro. Pick 2 running backs and 1 flex. Genty, Scat, Judkins, Dobbs, Trey Tucker. Also, how do we feel about picking up Dart? I'm okay picking up Dart. It just depends on your QB situation, but 2 running backs and a flex. Genty, Scat, and Judkins are the answers, the only answers. I mean, how did you get out of bed, Al? How did you get out of bed? Al? All right, go ahead, Travis, and then I'll go over to DJ. And
then... just 2 quick things. Just one is, I know people have talked about it. We were talking about it on Patreon. On Thursday nights, put on the Prime Vision thing on Amazon Prime, and you get to see the whole field. And where you think of running back is screwing up, there's just nowhere for him to go. Where you think oh, that wide receiver screwed up. No, he was open and ran the right route. The quarterback made a mistake. It shows the entire field. It shows a whole different perspective. It's really, really kind of cool. Someone was asking, would you trade Hendy for ETN? Or would you be holding on to Hendy right now?
If I had Tootin, I could understand wanting the duo to feel really safe. But I'd probably rather have Hendy in a vacuum for sure.
All right. And, Ham the Ham saying you missed a super chat. I doubt it. But We're going to just double check.
Start 2 running backs, Chase. Maybe I don't know if I did see this one. I think, okay. Start 2 running backs, Chase, Kenneth Walker, Scattaboo, Hendy. Okay, that's probably why I missed it, because I think when you put it in both the rest, I thought it was 1. And I just saw the 1. Start 2 running backs. So 2 running backs would be, well, I mean, I mean, do you already start Kenneth Walker? Hendy and Scattaboo. Is he an easy call? I think it's what I'd go with this week, and then and going forward. But trade Walker. Start 2 running backs. And, so is that Chase Brown too? Start 2 running backs. It looks like Chase Brown, I assume. I'm gonna go Chase. I go Chase Brown this week. I think over. Wait, do I go Hendy or Chase Brown? I think I take
Hendy.
I take a gamble on Hendy, and I take a gamble on Scat. I just think those are the 2 best players. Hopefully, you didn't already play Walker. And then going forward, you're trading Walker. That's all there is to it, bro. You're coupling him with our receiver.
The other one, though, actually, this super chat came in that I was saying it. Ham the Ham. Saying you might have missed it. I can just read it to you.
Ham the Ham. Trade Dobbins and Rome for Jacobs and Quentin Johnston. If I did miss it, I apologize. I don't know if I did. I'd rather have. I think Jacobs and Rome are pretty damn close. I think Dobbins and Quentin Johnston are both players that I don't necessarily want to start every week. It depends on the matchup and all that. I'd probably say at the end of the day in PPR, full PPR, Rome is maybe safer, but Jacobs might outscore him this week. This is going to be a great week for the Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to have a field day, but in a vacuum, it's pretty damn close. And then this $2 hauler by Corbin is blank. I appreciate you dropping that. Make sure you include the message in there. And then this $20 hauler from Kevin. Can you help me with my lineup next week? Walker and Seahawks defense this week. Herbert, Neighbors. So in general, your general lineup, I will say. Neighbors, Buka, Judkins to go. Help me with next week's. I mean, I can't. We're not really in next week right now, so to dig into the matchups and all, I'm honestly not there mentally because I'm embedded in this week, so I don't know that I'm ready to dig into the matchups, and I'm not on my toes for that. You know, I'm not in that space right now. So we're probably best to wait next week, Kevin. Let's tack it with all the news, and we just be spinning our wheels and wasting time with injuries and news that would prop up and changing in values. And look at Benson now versus Benson, you know, an hour or 3 hours ago. We might think a little less of him right now just because of the Cardinals. So we got to wait on all that. So let's wait on it. But bro, Neighbors, Igbuka, and Judkins are fantastic. I bet you that scores you 60 points right there between those 3 guys. You're going to do great. And let's wait to do next week's lineup when we get there, bro. Let's just wait. But if you need a trade help or something, let me know. We can cook something up. But I don't trade those 3 players. I love those 3 players. Start 2, Genty, Chase Brown, Hendy, Quentin Johnston. Chase Brown, Hendy. I'm going to go Hendy. And do you go Chase Brown or Genty, Travis?
I'm going Genty against the Bears.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going. I haven't lost hope in Chase Brown, but I'm going a lot of running backs over him right now.
Yeah.
See what it looks like.
Give the shot to Genty. They're giving him the volume. There's no doubt about it. Whereas Chase Brown, the volume vanished last week, but I think they'll give Chase Brown the volume. I don't have concerns about him losing his job. 0-3 trade Chase Brown and Bill for Dobbins and ETN. You got to be careful when you say Brown. It could be AJ Brown, it could be Chase Brown, it could be 100 different things. I assume it's Chase Brown. Chase Brown and Bill for Dobbins or ETN. I'm not doing that. I believe Chase Brown is more secure, honestly, than ETN long term because of how good Tootin is and because of the draft capital and Tootin and all that. So we got gifted memberships here from somebody. Gifted some memberships. Hold on. Gifted memberships from 10 gifted memberships from KL4 Life. Appreciate you. Guys, if you got a membership from KL for Life, please thank KL for that. KL, thank you, my boy, for dropping the 10 gifted memberships. Please thank him. All right, let me go to DJ real quick. DJ, as quickly as you can, pal. Hello? I think
best show on the planet, man. Best show on the planet.
Listen,
real quick. I think, in my opinion, what I'm seeing here, what we're seeing here with these running backs is that these coaches will go with the vet running back that gets what's supposed to be there. Now, with Connor, in my opinion, Vincent clearly was the backup to Connor and his kind of role specifically. It's good that he had 5 touches. I think Vincent's going to be perfectly fine. But, 5 receptions, excuse me. But what we are seeing here, I think, with these running backs, man, is that it's taking them time to crack the lineup. This is true of even Hendy, Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, but it will level out. These guys have to learn how to run the ball, and these coaches have to get up off their, high horse and say, hey, who's a better back? The Charbs Walker argument. If they are going to be a committee, and I think Travis made a good point, they're a balanced team, especially with that defense. With Charbs and Walker, if you have both of them, Walker, I think, is the better value to trade. But if I'm keeping both of them, or if I have one, I'd like to have Walker. That is because I think he could do more with less. And you're right, Charbs is that guy, but he fits that model. Coaches love a Charbs type. We're seeing it across the league. It's awesome if we can break one for a long one and what have you. And in Chicago, there might be a running back change. Swift fits that model. He's not a very good running back in between the tackles. Rashawn Johnson.
Yeah, the three running back landing spots for Walker, for Breece Hall, for it would be Chicago, it would be Washington, because they seem very skittish to commit to JCM, and then you also have Chicago. So Chicago, Houston, and Washington. Not saying that that's where it ends, but those are the most likely running back landing zones for a trade. But hard to say. What's Washington like? Washington, look, if they're not going to use JCM, then they got to do something. So I support making a move if they're going to commit to the player that they trade for. So they go get Walker. Look, it'll be sad, but they got to commit to Walker then. They don't just trade for him and then use him. I could see them, the way that this is going in the NFL right now, I could see them trading for him and then barely using him, like halftime. I could see it right now. I could see us all going, why'd you trade for him? You're not even using him.
Right.
Or KC. KC would be the fourth team that I could see going after like a Walker. And I could see KC not using him properly as well. I could see that. I could see him using him properly, and I could see them not using him properly. But Walker would be an unbelievable player to land in that roster if they used him properly. But KC wants to throw the ball. And so I kind of hope KC doesn't get involved, because I want Rice to become the star running back on that roster, because that's what Rice is going to be. He's going to be this short yardage consuming monster that's taking these quick slants and all the small work that's 2-3 yards downfield or at the line of scrimmage, and or knifing across on a 5 or a 10 yard drag across the field. It's just going to be Mahomes throwing it to him 100% all the time, all day. Here's the stats for anybody who's looking for that. Disappointing fantasy outing. It's crazy that MHJ, who was the bust of the game in the first half, bust of the century maybe, bust in fantasy football the last decade, walking out of the first half. We thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be dropped in so many leagues walking out of this game when we were looking at this thing from halftime, right around the halftime, heading into the third quarter. Then he finishes with 666 and 1 touchdown. He was essentially the best player on the field from a fantasy perspective, which is crazy that MHJ had such a good day at the office. At 18.5 fantasy football point outing. Walker, 4.3 yards per carry. Charbonnet, 3.3, but the touchdown and a second touchdown call back, which would have probably put him around 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 yards per carry on that run. But I disagree with the sentiment that Walker's can do more with a little. I don't know that I totally agree with that. I think they're both just different running backs. And Charbonnet has stepped up so well. Like, look at last year. He was the number 2 running back in the league if you extrapolate his 5 starts. So I don't necessarily agree that he's better than Walker. I just think they're both really, really, really good, and they both deserve their accolades or their props, and they're both unfortunately drowning each other out. But that's not one's fault over the other. It's the situation that's trashy that we got to deal with it. But it's not Charbs' fault, and that's where I think Charbs is catching strays in our Patreon when people are like, Charbs doesn't deserve it. He's not, like, Walker's better. What? And it's like, I get everybody's coming from, like Travis said, from who they have in the lineup. I get that. I mean, I see it every day. But I was defending Charbs, and everyone thought I hated Walker. I'm not hating Walker. I'm just saying, look, there's a reason to own just Charbonnet, and there's a reason to just own Walker. There's a reason to own both. But there's a reason why, if you own Walker, you can't sleep at night if you don't have Charbonnet. But if you have Charbonnet, you sleep fine without Walker because of the cost of entry. So the player that's better to own is Charbonnet standalone because he's practically free. And Walker, you're paying this premium and you're just praying that you're going to get what you're not getting. You're not getting it. And you're probably not going to get it unless Charbonnet goes down with an injury. And last week he didn't play. And Walker scored twice, but Walker didn't have the volume. So Walker did good, but he could have done so much better. It's just not the best ideal situation to be in. If I own these two guys, I'm trading Walker and I'm holding Charbs, or if I have to trade both of them to get it done, I do it. But there's no way I'm walking into the rest of the season feeling comfortable with Walker as my starting running back. I'm just not.
Yeah, and you know, the Charbs Walker example, you know, it's definitely perplexing and tough. But that's kind of my point in terms of just the running back position. And we're talking about committees. I mean, these coaches, man, it's kind of wild. You know, they go with these bets. We're seeing it in New England. We're seeing it in Denver, even with Connor in Arizona. I mean, you know, Connor, injury prone and whatnot, but he's good. He's good. You know, Benson's certainly more dynamic. So to your point, yeah, you know, you have different running back styles, but it kind of boils down to, I think, these coaches' philosophy in terms of, let me get these 4 yards, 5 yards. Let's get what's there.
Well, you know? If the coaching decisions are the same, if we can take last year and just roll it on into this year, and it doesn't even have to apply to rookies. It's Chase Brown, weeks 1, 2, 3 does nothing. Weeks 4 on, he's a top 5 to 10 running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, this rookie year, did nothing in weeks 1 through 6. He was the top 2 running back from week 7 on. And then last year, Bucky Irving was a nothing, you know, at the start, started to pick up more and more work, was serviceable. And then week 10 through 12, he started to become very serviceable. And then week 13, he got his first real start volume-wise and was a monster and a league winner from week 13 on. So we're here back in the same position we were last year with those guys. And it is what it is. Will it affect how we look at things next year? Yes, to a degree it will. But it doesn't mean that there won't be an outlier. There won't be one player that we're all in on, or I'm all in on. No one else has to be in. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna take everything case by case. I will not look at something and say, well, last year this is what happened, so it's gonna have to be the case this year. It might weigh heavily on how much we invest in rookies going forward with the way these coaches are not necessarily buying into them from Jump Street. I don't know why, as a collective, these coaches are not buying into these running backs on Jump Street, because running backs for the last 20 plus years have been the one position that does not need time to translate at the NFL level. We've seen Zeke Elliott. We've seen, dating all the way back to way before Zeke Elliott, rookie running backs can walk straight in and produce no matter what. Now, the offenses are getting more complex. There's a lot of pre-snap motions in today's NFL that weren't there back in the day. That could have a lot to do with why coaches don't trust players in these pass protection situations The league has become a lot more geared toward that type of style, and that could have a lot to do with it. We'll examine it in the offseason, but I will not run away from a rookie. We just may be more cautious and look at it differently. But at the same time, as long as Hampton delivers from this point, this is where Chase Brown exploded, week 4. If Hampton delivers from week 4 on, it doesn't matter. No one looks back on Chase Brown and says, yeah, but you know what? He didn't play weeks 1 through 3. People go, Chase Brown won me a league. Chase Brown was a monster. Chase Brown's the man. If we get that out of Hendy from week 4 on this week, Hampton, week 4 on, Judkins, week 4 on, Scattaboo, week 4 on, Jordan Mason's not a rookie, but same concept, week 4 on. No one's going to care about weeks 1 through 3. And it really won't weigh too much into my decision making if we see all these guys rebound from week 4 on. But I don't think we'll see all of them rebound, but we'll see some stuff, happen. I think this week's going to be a good week overall.
Well, I'm old school and I believe in trusting your draft, right? I mean, we're seeing in 3 weeks, Jamar Chase being traded for pennies on the dollar. It's wild to me. Talent is talent. So, to your point in terms of building your draft around rookies, as you pointed out throughout the draft season, in the HH and H, just using them as an example, you still have to build your team accordingly, in terms of your value. But I wouldn't get away from my rookies. I mean, I believe in my draft. I believe in Harvey's my guy. He'll
get there.
Unfortunately, I have him insulated in terms of the draft. But
all right, last thing, and I got to roll. No, go ahead. Last thing, and then I got to roll. No, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just saying that Prime Vision is that's good stuff, man.
All right.
Watching the game.
All right,
thank
you, DJ.
Later.
Appreciate it later. All right, Travis, let me answer these real quick, and then I'll let you respond. Hey, Smitty, 14-team league. Overthinking, addicted to trading. Okay, so what's the trade here? Should I trade London for Judkins and A.O. Manor? I'm fine with that. I'd draft Judkins over London right now. And I think I did in the upcoming the draft that we just did the other day. Who do you start? Roster is JD5, Gibbs, Adams if he plays. Check the injury report. Jacoby Myers is fine. Laporte is fine. DJ Moore, Packers. I mean, there's nothing on your bench that I'm rolling into the lineup, but maybe A.O. Manor. And would I start A.O. Manor over DJ Moore? I don't know. Maybe. It's a toss-up. It's a coin toss. Chat, vote on that. DJ Moore, A.O. Manor. DJ Moore, A.O. Manor. A.O. Manor's higher risk, higher upside. DJ Moore, probably safer, but I think the upside is not quite as high. But it's a tough call. And then Travis Hunter. Yeah, Travis Hunter, A.O. Manor. If I got to decide between A.O. Manor and Travis Hunter, I would take A.O. Manor right now. But I'd monitor Travis Hunter if you're going to cut him, if you're in one of those leagues where you just can't hold both of them. I'm monitoring Hunter. I'm trying my best not to drop him because of what I just described. What I just described about Chase Brown, about Bucky, about, and someone even said Mason in the live chat, that Mason didn't do anything to the end of the year. Well, and we predicted that Mason would explode at the end of the year. Hunter has a chance to still do all of what those guys did. Do nothing for 10 weeks like Bucky and then explode. So I know everyone wants to cast judgment on him and say he's trash. He's not trash. It's the team. And for anybody who says he can't play both sides, it's not true. It's that the team is incapable of managing both sides. That's the problem. And that part frustrates me because I think the player's ready for it. The team is not. I don't think it has anything to do with Travis Hunter not being able to manage it. The team is doing a piss poor job of controlling the situation. And Waddle's on waiver.
60% of his routes. 60% of his routes are out of the slot right now, and that's not necessarily his strongest spot. He was on the outside a lot. I mean, they move him around, but they need to get him going on some deeper routes and stuff too.
And look, his situation is a situation you can't separate the player from the situation, from the coach, from the play calls. So I get where some people might be saying, but I don't think it'll change Smitty. Then I understand that stance and I accept it. I don't necessarily buy into it yet, but I understand that at least. But if someone says that Hunter's a bust, he's trash, You're a casual. It's okay that you are, but you're talking like a casual because he's done nothing wrong. It's his coaching staff, the decision makers, the play calling, and how they're using him. He's not trash. He's not overrated. He's not a bust. He can still be rookie of the year. It's amazing to me how quickly people are drawing conclusions on him. He can be a lockdown guy, and he could get better, and he's not getting the proper support he needs or running the routes that he needs. And then this one here, Waddle's on waivers. Should I drop Terry for him? Probably not, because Terry's not having surgery, but I don't know. I could go either way, but I'd probably hold Terry in hopes that, he does get back on the field quickly, but I don't know. Not having surgery doesn't mean he doesn't need it. It just means it could take. We'll find more out in the morning, I think. All right, Travis. Anything else? Anything you want to talk about on any of those topics before we jump out of here?
Yeah. So MHJ and Dynasty. What would you need in terms of picks? Would you want picks, or would you be going for players? Would you take 2 first-round picks for them, or would you just be holding tight if you could afford
Would I take 2 first-round picks for MHJ and Dynasty? Hell yeah. Would I take 1 first-round pick? Maybe. If I thought it was if it was the 1.12, maybe not, because that's the 2.1. That's like trading a second rounder.
Yeah,
but
I have an offer right now. Would be a late first and a second. It would be a late second.
I would take a late first and a second.
Yeah, a late second. Obviously, I can win it all this year too, though.
Bro, it's so tough. It's so
I'm
tough.
thinking I'm going to wait another week or two because I can afford to. Because if he gets 10 targets a game like he did tonight, I'm okay. I think he'll be fine. But
It's
I was saying, Patreon, it worries me because I don't know if he's the right type of receiver for Kyler. He needs his routes to develop. Kyler is moving around and running out of the pocket and hitting the trees and stuff like that.
No, he was definitely not a good fit for this system. They're morons in Arizona, to be honest, bro. They're absolute imbeciles running this thing. From top to bottom. I mean, I'm in Arizona. I can say that. I know that. I've been watching this for decades. The Cardinals don't know what they're doing they're like the Bears. Honestly, I don't know. I guess I would probably take a first and a second and then try and flip that into something else, Travis, is probably what I'd do. Let's say you had Walker. Let's say you had, I don't know, Waddle. Let's say you had T. Higgins. Let's say you had, I'm just throwing out a bunch of names for everybody to kind of get on board with this, what I'm about to say. So, let's say
I can move like Javonte.
Yeah, Javonte, any of these, and then you have a first rounder to upgrade that player. I'm more interested because I don't know that MHJ's upgrading that player. Maybe you will. Maybe you could just trade MHJ and Javonte for the player. I don't know. You try that first. Whatever you think you might want, try and do it with MHJ. And if you can't, ask them. If I got what if I give you a first rounder? Would you do? And then see what they say. If they go, no, I don't even like that. Then maybe maybe the temperature on a first round pick is not more than MHJ. But I believe that because MHJ's value could vanish next week, right now, to me, I feel like his current value off of tonight is worth a first rounder. What about if he walked out of the half not rebounding? You wouldn't get a first rounder. So I guess my thinking is I'd rather take the first rounder now and flip something with the first rounder now, or flip MHJ this week off the value before and not jump through all the hoops. But I don't know, man.
It's a 10-team dynasty, so there's some teams are pretty loaded, and I've been building the team. This is my first year I'm truly competing. I'm building it, and so I got a good team. I have Neighbors in London, and Olave and MHJ. Those are my only 4 receivers, though. So
yeah.
I'm trying to get someone a little more trustworthy.
So if you try to trade Olave and MHJ for one player, it might be harder because someone might not need two receivers. So if you traded Olave and a first rounder, I wonder what you could get. You know, could you get a
Yeah,
Hendy?
I could even do one of the wide receivers, a first rounder, and Benson or Javante, because they're expendable too right now.
Yeah. Like, I just wonder.
Yeah, I look around the Balls in the league. Actually, you just said he might be interested. So
I mean, I would trade MHJ for Lab McConkey in Dynasty, straight up right now, without a hesitation.
Really? Okay. Just because of the situation, more than anything.
I think Lad's going to be good. I think Lad was overrated.
I like Lad a lot too. I think he bounces back.
I would trade like here's another example: MHJ and Javante for Rice right now, or you're trading a Dunze, sure. You're trading, or you're trading the first rounder and whatever wide receiver we're talking about. Let's say you had a T. Higgins or you had something, so MHJ in that pick to go get Rice right now, to go get Garrett Wilson right now, to get a Dunze right now, I would trade MHJ for BTJ straight up. I'd trade MHJ for the first rounder and second rounder, then trade the first and second rounder for BTJ if the person didn't want MHJ for BTJ. Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish right now off of this week. Do I trade MHJ? Can I get more with MHJ? If not, can I get the pick, then trade the pick to get what I want that MHJ wouldn't get me? That's what I'm doing. But I don't think I'm keeping MHJ. I just think I'd want to sell. The best way to describe this would be let's say you buy an Apple MacBook, okay? You buy an Apple. No, how about we say a car? We'll say a car. Let's say you buy a 2025 Jeep Wrangler. Okay, you have it. It's worth whatever. You paid the whole thing off. You own it. Okay, but then the new one comes out, and you're like, "Damn, I like that one just a little bit better." And someone tells you you could trade it straight up. You'll lose about $2,000 on it, but you can get straight in with what you're doing right now with the new one. But you're gonna lose $2,000, and you're like, I think I'm gonna be better long term. I'll take that hit now. Boom. That's the way I'm looking at this with MHJ. I'm willing to take the hit on what I paid for MHJ because I feel like I'm getting so high of a return right now. Even if it ends up, I regret it, he goes up more, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with getting into what I want to get into, using the highest value I can get right now because in my mind, it might get worse.
All right, yeah, so obviously you're taking any of the top wide receivers, Dunze, JSN. What about Garrett Wilson? Where you at?
I've read Wilson by a lot.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. Gives me a good idea what to look at. So.
Thank you, Travis.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
And I don't mind, holding MHJ. I'm not trying to get rid of him for nothing. I'm just saying I'm actively trying to figure out how to get into the 2026 version of what this is, like in the vehicle. It's not that I'm just getting rid of the Jeep. I'm just saying, first of all, I wouldn't buy a Jeep. I did buy a Jeep once, and I'm more of a Toyota guy. Dynasty, Maya Dunze, Pickens for Chase in a vacuum. Dunze and Pickens for Chase. I'd rather have probably Jamar Chase, but Dunze's close there. Pickens is going to ball out while we were waiting for Lamb. So, but this is Dynasty, and I'm going to take Jamar Chase. But, a year could go by and I could regret that. It's possible. PPR 10-man league, 0-3, Bijan, Bucky, Chase Brown, tips with his team, 0-3. I love the running backs, probably not touching it. And honestly, Chase Brown, I would sell him for the right price, but only if it made sense. And you're 0-3 on Rice. I mean, Rice for Garrett Wilson, Rice for JSN off of the bad game. I think you might be able to, go that direction. Chase Brown for JSN. You might be able to go in that direction. Worthy and Rice for JSN and something. Worthy and Chase Brown for just one player makes a lot of sense to me. And you could do that. You could do that for a running back. Chase Brown and Worthy for Achane, for Henry. Someone might trade Henry that low. Probably not Barkley, but you try. I mean, Chase Brown, Worthy, depends on if Worthy is even, he's probably going to play this week. He could have a good game and you could sell him. I just think he's an injury waiting to happen. Debo and Chase Brown for Henry. Rice and Chase Brown for Henry and something, for Barkley and something. I think I attack those players. DJ, appreciate you. 12-man question here. I'm feeling just one player away from, but for who? Okay, Rashee Rice. I like keeping him with a 2-1 record, but I'm still open to trading him. Achane, JT, Waddle, Garrett Wilson, Johnston, Hunter. Okay, yeah, Scat. I like Scat. Go to the Walker owner, see what you could upgrade Waddle or Travis Hunter or Garrett Wilson into by giving him Charbs. And if that doesn't work, you just kind of hold Charbs. He could be a home run hitter for you. And you see if you can turn Rice and Waddle into something just a little bit more. Hunter and Rice. Scattaboo and Rice. Garrett Wilson and Rice. Juwan Johnson and Rice. The Bowers. Just look to maybe Bowers would be a nice buy low player, bro. Trade London for Ladd and Judkins. I would take Ladd and Judkins and run, my boy. Trade Jalen Warren and Keon Coleman for Judkins. Judkins and run. What are we doing here? Absolutely. Victory laps after you take your laps, guys. 1 and 2 and waiting on Rice to come back. And Tootin, Harvey, Woody to go off running back 2. Should I send my Evans for Charbs? I probably would, because Evans is out of wild, bro. When he comes back, I don't know. I'd definitely take the gamble on Charbs. He scored 1 touchdown tonight and another touchdown, an amazing touchdown run called back on a crap hold call. 12-man PPR, 2 flex, 2-1. Achane, Waddle. Charbs. Feeling I'm just one. Oh, I just read that one. Thank you for the super chat, bro. My boy, DJ to the moon. Well, I'll see you all in the morning. Appreciate you all. I should have a video up by, I would say, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Appreciate all the super chats. Appreciate all of you. 824 of you from YouTube still in here. Please subscribe if you're new. Hit that thumb up button on the way out the door. 2-hour stream in the books. See you all later. Appreciate you. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live additionally whenever big news breaks. And live almost every single night at midnight Eastern. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow.